Dr. Zhang is standing across from Fei Wu in the park at night and appears worried. Sun questions whether Dr. Zhang is the parent of Fei Wu's child. Dr. Zhang is baffled by his own behavior as a playboy despite being engaged to Principal Q. Never before has he been such a villain. Dr. Zhang encourages Fei Wu to abstain from alcohol while she is pregnant, but she discloses her plans for an abortion by claiming that Peng Wu has taken advantage of her while she's still a student. It turns out that Peng Wu, not Dr. Zhang, is the father of her child. Sun Tian exhales in relief at this realization. She agrees with Dr. Zhang and asks whether she really wants retribution after wiping away her tears. In light of his father's role as the vice president of the Shengsheng Public Security Department, Fei Wu worries about Peng Wu's enormous influence. It won't be simple to defeat him. Dr. Zhang makes Fei Wu think of his friend who made a 3-month commitment to overcome Peng Wu. Fei Wu is still unsure though about her friend's chance of beating Taekwondo champion Peng. Dr. Zhang calls Black Bear right away to inquire about how his practice is doing. Black Bear lies and sips a soft drink while lying in his bed and says he's given it his all, but he isn't sure he can beat Peng despite his efforts. Fei Wu is standing next to Dr. Zhang, who tells him and offers to bring Black Bear to dinner if he does. Fei Wu is initially taken aback, but she consents to serve dinner if Black Bear triumphs. She assures Black Bear that what Dr. Zhang said is accurate. Excitedly jumping out of bed, Black Bear accidentally knocks his buddy off the pole as he starts practicing hard. Fei Wu is Black Bear's whole and utter love. Dr. Zhang begs Fei Wu to treat Black Bear to supper if he wins after terminating the call, and she accepts. Dr. Zhang orders the two families to go back to their dorms before turning around and leaving. Dr. Zhang is lost in thought as he travels and wonders if his grandfather's assertion that males in their family constantly struggle with the issue of being associated with women is accurate. Dr. Zhang sees Zhang Engfeng Lin having a private moment while passing by an apartment. As he watches this, Feng issues Zhang a warning not to touch any other women going forward, and Zhang makes a commitment to stay true to her. Zhang worries that his superior status at work could lead to problems, since coworkers might start talking negatively about their relationship. He appeals to Feng for his promotion to vice manager. Feng discloses that she's assigned the vice manager at the moment, Lin, a difficult assignment that seems hard to finish in the allotted time. Feng intends to suggest Zhang to the board of directors for consideration when Lin fails to submit a report on the assignment. Then they will declare their relationship in a formal way. Disgusted by their tale, Dr. Zhang feels bad for the poor management. Overwhelmed by his thoughts, Dr. Zhang leaps off the ground, taking off his medical coat, and then drops it on the bushes. He wants to engage in martial arts training because it's been a while since his last session. Soon later, Zhao shows up. She takes up Dr. Zhang's coat after spotting it in the woods with the intention of giving it back to him tomorrow. She turns around and sees the men's clothing and footwear lying on the ground. Zhao wonders why Zhang left his clothing on the ground, and she stoops down to pick them up, still in the woods. She hears Zhang's voice as she reaches in for the clothing. She glances up, startled to see the chicken goblin. The creature has a rooster-like head and an athletic golden yellow body. Zhao is grabbed by the chicken goblin and pulled towards it, which causes her to lose control over Zhang's possessions, which drop from her hands. The goblin insists that Zhao submit to him since he didn't transfer her physical attributes. Rushing over to them, Zhang begs Zhao not to accept the goblin's offer, emphasizing that it's insane and out of control. Zhao concedes to the goblin's demand in spite of Zhang's protests. Zhang attempts valiantly to halt the goblin. Punches are thrown from behind, but the goblin is more powerful. Zhang is violently struck by it and falls on the ground unconscious. The sound of his phone ringing awakens naked Zhang the following morning, the grandfather of Q. When he calls, Zhang answers and offers to meet him for dinner that night. Zhang, whose head is still spinning, notices that Zhao, also naked, is sleeping on top of him. As he tries to recall what happened the night before, boom, here it is. The chicken goblin's practice sessions in the wood come to mind. While he's practicing, Zhang hears footsteps coming towards him. He notices Zhao there when he turns to his side. As he recalls, a shivering surge of horror sweeps through him. He recalls his grandfather's warning not to become sidetracked during double practice should he suffer severe consequences, and a frightening surge of panic sweeps through him. The chicken goblin became unhinged as a result of this diversion, turning into an out-of-control super chicken beast. Although Zhang made every effort to stop the accident, he was powerless to stop it. Both Zhang and Zhao dress themselves. Although Zhang apologizes to Zhao, she maintains that he's not to blame. She feels as though she no longer deserves him. Zhang tries to explain to her, but Zhao refuses and tells him not to bring up the incident ever again. Zhang is aware of his grandfather's dying request for him to wed Q. He feels his face in the meantime and notices that's no longer paralyzed. When he arrives at the hospital, he runs across Fei and Sun Tian waiting at the front desk. They are welcomed to Zhang's room. When a coworker inquires about Zhao, Zhang replies that she's already reported for duty. He turns to face Fei and promises her that everything is ready and that the surgery won't hurt. Fei hesitates when Zhang urges her to take off her clothes to begin the procedure, but in order to make her feel more at ease, he pledges to blindfold himself throughout the surgery. Faye is relieved, but she becomes increasingly perplexed when she notices Zhang concealing his eyes in a Ninja Turtle fashion. Faye and Sun Tian wait in anticipation as Zhang giggles, takes off the blindfold once more, and apologizes for the joke. The surgical procedure starts and lasts for 30 minutes. Faye continues to sleep on the bed as Zhang summons Sun Tian to come over. He assures Sun Tian that everything went smoothly and requests that she let Faye sleep, so that she can get the rest she needs. Sun Tian is informed by Zhang that he's departing to see Kyo's family and that he will return shortly. He leaves, leaving Sun Tian contemplating Deng Zhang's integrity as he leaves the room. Zhang remembers the last time he arrived and how everyone received him cordially as he stands in front of the enormous wooden gate. But now, nobody's there to welcome him. He experiences a sense of sadness as he muses on how fleeting relationships are. He suddenly notices a gas cylinder and utilizes it as a temporary tool to get to the hallway. Zhang's poise and tenacity excite Kyo's grandpa as he watches him move. He becomes unhappy when he sees Zhang because he thinks his granddaughter doesn't want to wed Zhang. His train of thinking is interrupted by Kyo's son and daughter-in-law who remind him of his pledge to call off the wedding, because Zhang is regarded to be of lesser social standing. They quickly descend the stairs to meet Zhang at the entrance to the hall. Zhang leaps off the gas cylinder, forcing it to crash into the wall due to its fast speed. Grandpa embraces him and guides him to the warmth. He's greeted with warmth by Grandpa, who then directs him to the dining room where a variety of meals are offered. Zhang asks Kyo's grandfather about the meeting goals after lunch because he's curious. Grandpa starts off by stating that they have agreed to become brothers, with him being the younger brother and Zhang's grandpa being the older. Grandpa Zhang had feelings for a woman who later wed Kyo. Zin's grandma tragically passed away 25 years ago, and Zhang's grandfather accused Kyo of being responsible. Zhang's grandfather and Kyo decided to set up a marriage between their grandkids as a means to make up for the loss. Zhang puts his fork down after hearing the entire exchange and queries Kyo's family about if they want to continue. After hearing everything said, Zhang sets his fork down and inquires about Kyo's family, desired to end their relationship. The mother of Jin affirms their goal and presents him with a check for 20 million yuan, implying that unless he wins the lottery, Zhang will never be able to accumulate such fortune in his lifetime. When Jin's mother notices Zhang's interest in the check, she thrusts him with a stack of documents for the marriage's dissolution. She sternly requests that he sign, telling him that this wedding was nothing more than a joke, and that Zhang is unworthy of becoming a member of their family. Zhang begins signing the documents while nodding his head. After finishing, he adamantly informs everyone in the hallway that he and Kyo's family will no longer be associated. With a fork, Zhang rips apart the 200 million won check and assertively claims that he doesn't require it. He counsels them against viewing their daughter as a product of being bought and sold. Jin's mother is unfazed by Zhang's acts and stands with pride. He reverses direction. He turns away and expresses gratitude to Kyo for the meal, and says he could one day extend an invitation to Kyo for dinner. The mother of Jin replies icily that she won't see him again. Kyo is disturbed and concerned about his granddaughter one day regretting the wedding's postponement on the other side of the hall. Looking down at his table as Zhang leaves, Kyo discovers that the lunch has magically vanished. The same note is posted by his son. Where did the food go? Everyone is horrified. After leaving Kyo's home, Zhang pulls out his phone and makes a call to Mrs. Fatty, his cook. He tells her not to make lunch and shows her the food that was taken from Kyo's table. Yan is teaching Yao Nok in Book 1 in the residential area, and Mrs. Fatty requests that he pick Yan up there. After agreeing, Zhang hangs up. When Zhang enters the neighborhood, she observes Yao Nok having fun in the dirt with her friends. He approaches her and inquires about her teacher out of worry. According to Yao Nok, her teacher slept off and her father instructed her to go play while he looked after the teacher. To report an issue at her residence, Zhang advises Yao Nok to contact the police. Zhang understands that going up the stairs would take a long time because Yao Nok resides on the 5th floor. He raises the pressure using a water pump. He lifts himself up by using a water pump to enhance the water pressure. He enters the dining room through a broken glass window where Zhao Nuk's father was attempting to hurt Yan. He's knocked down cold by the quick kicks and skateboard strike from Zhang. Zhang then dresses Zhao Nuk, who awakens due to the uproar. Yan admits that the man handed her a cup of coffee, which led her to nod off, as he recounts the entire incident to her. Yan attacks the attacker with a skateboard in his personal space after becoming enraged. Police sirens suddenly start to come into the distance. As the cops draw near from the main door, Zhang tells Yan to flee through the smashed window. They successfully land on the earth after he creates an improvised parachute out of a drape. They attentively examine the incident while hiding behind another structure. A little while later, Zhao Nuk's mother, who is frightened by the police presence, shows up at the scene. She asks the police what happened, and they say that because Zhao Nuk's father is associated with the gang, they believe that someone broke in out of personal malice. Yun is given the assurance by Zhang that he will go home with her and then explain everything to the authorities. While carefully going over the crime scene, the police are not aware of Zhang's abandoned bag of lunch that was left on the ground. Yun thanks Zhang for saving her life as they stroll hand in hand. When they pause, Yun says she has chest trouble and asks Dr. Zhang to examine her. She takes her shirt off. Because they're in a public space, Jung conceals his eyes and tells her to put her shirt back on. Yun chuckles and assures him that they are merely in the suburbs before redonning her shirt. Jung understands that he accidentally misbuttoned her bra, making her uncomfortable. After noticing them and approaching, a lady police officer finds Jung's identity card at the scene, turning him into a suspect. She demands that he go with her to the police station. Yun insists on coming along as a witness, but Jung declines and says she'll be back shortly. Yun texts her friend Woo after he departs. Yun, whose father holds a high position at the Public Security Ministry, texts her buddy Woo Hee after he departs. Woo Hee hurriedly asks her father for assistance, pleading with him to detain Jung for an additional 2 days. Woo Hee's father chooses to step in as a result of being impressed by Jung's rapid thinking. To get the authorities to go into the CCTV footage from the residential neighborhood, Jung explains the issue to the police. While acknowledging the consistency between Jung's testimony and the available proof, the lady police officer insists on speaking with Jing Long, the actual victim at the hospital. As Jung asks to talk with Jing first at the hospital, Jing's wife apologizes for her husband's behavior. Jing screams loudly inside the space. Jing interrupts into a frenzy inside the space and threatens Jung. Remaining composed, Jung makes a claim. He can treat Jing's younger brother, who is thought to be incurable, of other medical professionals. Jing reveals where the anesthetics are hidden under the pillow out of his curiosity. As he departs, Jung declares his cooperation with the authorities but questions his capacity to heal Jing's brother. Jing berates himself for coming clean. Woo Hee's father learns the whole tale and is amazed by Jung's wit sitting in his office, which allows him to quickly establish his innocence. He thinks of hiring Jung to work for him. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and press that bell icon to know about our latest videos.